Alright, welcome back to Nugget Garage. This week we've had an interesting cluster of problematic cars and customers, and Chris got a new hairbrush. Took him a while to get used to that. So I've been chipping away in the background. I figure I'll just show you. This is something I had to do before I could actually tune the KE10. I had a crappy little launch flowbench, injector flowbench, which really couldn't even handle one 2400cc injector at a time at full flow. So I never really could actually test injector, flow comparisons between them. This little car has 12 2400cc injectors in it and 3 per cylinder, and I really needed a way to be able to confirm at least that the injectors all flow the same or within a certain percentage. So in the background I've knocked up this flow bench. It's using actually some pretty high-end parts, so if you actually went and bought all this stuff new, it'd probably cost you like 8 grand to build this bench. But this is all surplus crap that I had lying around. The pump came out of the KE10. That's like a massive overkill for a transfer pump. It's like a 2,500 horsepower pump, and it's not cooled by anything, so it's not really designed for constant use. So I've put a smaller version of that is cooled by the fuel into the KE10. I'll show you that later. Using a Motec M84 purely because it has an injector test function, which lets you run, an output basically without having the thing as. If you use a normal ECU, you'd have to use a signal generator and actually make it think the engine's running to work. Don't have to with that. The only problem with that is it only puts one injector output at a time, which sucks. So the way I've wired it is I've got all 8 channels going to all 8 injectors, and then I've got one solid state relay, and if I flick this switch, it takes number 1 output and sends it to the relay, and the relay sends 8 outputs back to the injectors via 8 diodes, so it won't feedback. So I can run all 8 at once, and I can run one of each 8 individually. Of course, I'm just winging this. I have no idea whether this is going to do what I need. These flasks are about half a litre each. They're seconds, they're misprinted, so they're all over the place, but they were cheap. I've got to glue this little strip down so they at least won't try and move. I don't even know if they will move. I don't even know if this is too thin. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. It's got all Magnafuel regs on it, speed flow fittings, Nomex braid, 120 series or whatever it is. So it's a little bit stupid, but do it once. Next door, my shop's next to Pineapple. Ray came on a weekend and knocked me up 3 different lots of stone for shelves, which is pretty cool. I've got to put an aluminium funnel in here and a return hose back to the top of the tank because there's no drain on the bottom of these beakers, so it's going to be a manual affair. Alright, so we'll push the KE10 back and I'll push the injectors out. Pull the injectors out and see if it works. Okay, I figure we'll just pull out the secondary rail because it's got 8 injectors on it. That's the other thing with that bench too. I've got to make little injector block-offs, I think. That way you can put 4 in there and I can just block the holes up, or I'll just use some old injectors in the other 4 holes, whatever. So in the background I've still been tinkering away with this thing. I've now plumbed up most of the CO2 boost control area. I've still got to put the bottle in it, and I've still got to put the solenoids under the guard. I did pressure test both of those wastegates, and the front one has the smallest diaphragm leak, so probably going to have to change that diaphragm. Also, after talking to a few people, I've decided to go and do an upstream injector in this. I'm not going to use an injector though. I'm going to use like a Kinsler nozzle and a fan. So yeah, nitrous solenoid, which is already plumbed up. I'm going to use that to flow nozzle into the intake, and then I can just keep changing the size of the pill to dictate the flow.
So it's like mechanical injection?
So kind of like a constant flow mechanical injector when it's on boost. Try and do some kind of intercooling because I've got a feeling we're going to be pushing this turbo past where it's designed to be.
Yep.
Which means we're going to make some hot air.
That way you shouldn't fill your charge pipe up with,
as long as you turn it off,
fuel and then tip it down your intake when you're coming out of the...
Yeah. Well, as long as I turn it off early enough, it shouldn't pool in there, hopefully. The other thing that I did too was I pulled this Wobbletron off. to have a look why that was. And they actually had machined it to sit over where the middle hub bolts to the outer hub, but the holes weren't indexed correctly, so when someone's put it together, they've tightened the bolts up on the piss and it's pulled it on the piss. So all I had to do was drill the holes out by 1/2 mil, hold it where it was supposed to be, and then bolt it on properly, and now it's true, which is good. Well, okay, in the car, I've done stuff in the car. So I moved the taxi bar back, remounted the seat and made a seat mount, put the seat in the place where I actually fit. And I was going to redo the side intrusion bars and weld them in, but I've decided to get it teched as it is, because with that bar not there, it's so much easier for like drag challenges and whatnot. And if it does come to a time where it runs faster than I'm allowed to have that, then I'll be happy about that anyway.
Are you not allowed to have a bolt-in intrusion bar in 7s?
No, I think it's 850s or faster. It's got to be welded.
Okay, it has to be welded.
Yeah.
It can't be those cleats or...
I mean, I can still get in. It's just not comfortable.
That's amazing.
But now I actually fit.
Such a fat man can fit in such a small car.
Look at it. They even can get a helmet on. I'm not sure how the passenger's going to go.
Well, it's going to be pretty uncomfortable. Well, look at that.
The seat's going to be higher too, to go over that guff. Les from Red Corner Upholstery is going to do me a fitted carpet, and he's going to make me a slimmer dash pad and a parcel shelf cover, and then the interior will pretty much be done. Oh, I want to use a pressure sensor. There's a few wires that I forgot, so I'm going to have to manipulate some fleece tape. So I put, well, that's the second smaller fuel pump that I've put in there, because the first one leaked, and I can't remember where I got that from. Ben Moore. So this is another one I bought off some rotary guy off eBay, and he actually shipped it really quick. Thanks, mate. Don't know who you are. He was whinging about his rotary costing him 20 grand to get rebuilt. That's why he was selling his pump.
A rotary needing rebuilds. That's weird.
Yeah. Should have thought that through, mate. And the other thing that I forgot to do too when I was wiring this car was I really would like a fuel gauge. So I didn't run a wire for that either. So there's another wire I've got to pull through. Which, if you did a mil-spec harness, you'd be screwed anyway, because how?
Yeah.
See, my fleece tape can come undone.
How good's old mate's cake?
How random was that?
We'll show the people. Some bloke actually cooked us a cake that was in the... It was a recipe I put in the description when I had nothing else to write in there the other day. And he actually cooked us a cake. Yeah, we'll cut to him bringing his cake.
Let's see if I can open this without spilling the cake on the floor.
How good's this bloke? Made us a cake off the recipe from the description for shits and giggles, which is weird as but we'll take it.
Sure.
We only invited him back to eat it with us, just so...
Actually, so you know it's not tainted.
Yeah.
Haven't spliced in some extra goodness into it.
Right.
Bit of extra protein.
That's some wild looking icing, holy shit.
As per the recipe, it's that extra 3 grams of icing
That
sugar.
extra, yeah, I don't know.
She's dense, boys, she's dense.
No, served up chocolate cake as well. Keen?
Mine's a bourbon gut. You've got no...
Oh, that's... Oh, I like cake. Get into it.
Thank you, mate. No worries, enjoy.
Enjoy it. Is it good?
It's good.
Is it?
That's a good recipe.
Dang it, I gotta eat some. Alright, camera's off. See if I can... And we got and he's did a video, so we'll link it there.
So in next week's description, we're going to put like how to overthrow a government or something in there. Like.
Where to buy 235 ET streets.
Yeah. I like how we made him come in so he could eat it at the same time.
Yeah, just in case he put weird stuff in.
Yeah, because it was tainted. Yeah.
Thanks, Theo.
Thanks, Theo.
It was actually a really, really good cake. It was like really nice. I like cake.
It's pretty obvious you like cake, mate.
Yeah, well, clearly you've been eating a bit too, mate. Don't
No,
get too
mate,
carried
it's not
away.
cake. It's bourbon. Different sort of cake. Liquid cake.
an
What are you
idea.
going? What are you going down there for? It's in the abyss. You don't want to go down there, eh? I wonder if this is going to work.
I think so.
So Kiwi Steve made me these little brackets. I don't know what injectors he was planning on using there, but really, really long ones.
Really, really long ones. The size of that. What's going on here, Steve? What are you doing, mate?
We are going to use these are off that launch bench. I'm going to lave them out and then put an M8 thread in them, so they'll be like an early knob.
Maybe he was looking at those Ranger injectors in the office.
We're going to do direct injection flowing.
Yeah.
Also, it's an 8 injector rail with no centre return, so I don't know if we're going to split fed it, but it's a really big pump. Surely it'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is how I learn, by making mistakes.
So I'll just stand back when you turn it on the first time.
I would be.
So what are these 24s?
So the other stuff I haven't done yet either is I've got to make an 8 bunch of wires so I can pulse the injectors while they're in the bath. And then the other thing I'm going to use is JCar make a timed relay circuit. So I need to actually make it so that I can run the output for say 5 seconds for measuring instead of manual. That can come later. Just give me 5 minutes to put these nuts on. It's not even one of those repeat scenes, it's just still going. Fucking getting lactic acid. I don't even know if it's going to blow these test tubes like away from the wall or what.
How quickly can you turn it off?
I don't know. But we can edit, so it's going to look like it's flawless first go. I don't even know if these injectors work.
Pretty sure. Well,
It doesn't run on these ones.
these are the secondaries
Yeah.
and the third trees.
I did bash them until they worked last time, because they weren't. They were all jammed.
That's good.
So I guess we should do a fuel pressure test.
I still think you
Wanna
need
watch
your
the
fuel
gauge?
pressure gauge. See, your fuel pressure gauge is in the wrong spot. It's all the way down there. Oh, it's coming up. Yeah, stop.
Holy shit.
We've got some kind of fuel leak.
How much
and
pressure was
it hit
that?
like 80 psi.
You should see what the fuel rail did in the middle there.
Whoa.
So there might be a little design flaw. Ooh.
So maybe you need another little bracket here.
I do have 3. Just the third one was going to be a pain in the dick to do up.
Well,
It's all right. We can make adjustments as I go. That's what's good about it.
we've got a fair leak down the bottom in the tank. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know if it's come out of that open, returny looking spot, or it did hit 90 psi or something.
Yeah, we don't want 90 psi.
No, so you probably might want to turn that down a fraction.
How the f did that come out of there? Or do you have a third clevis?
Possibly go wrong.
I'm the Allen key now.
Oh, wow.
What? Well, they probably fit
They're
me
not
here.
even pliers, they're f***ing cutters.
Yeah, it goes in between the threads.
A75? It's almost 65-ish.
That'd be an acceptable amount. I've got less fuel rail deflection, so
Yeah.
should we go a 6-way right off the bat? Go an 8-way.
Yeah, go all 8.
7,500 revs, 50% duty cycle.
Wow. They're all good. Yeah,
not too bad. That's pretty good.
Ordinary good. So what's going on here? Where
So
are
on the test function, you can say, you know, an RPM and a duty cycle. So obviously the higher the RPM, the lower the milliseconds would be at 100% duty cycle. So that was 50% duty cycle, 7,500 RPM. So also if this switches over here, it's an injector per injector basis. So that's number 4. 8. 3. Or if you're over here, or 6.
Pump screaming.
We just ran out of capacity.
It's a little bit off at that.
No, those 3 there are
Oh,
by
you
themselves.
just pump a little bit. So they're good.
That works.
So, like Beanie said, can you play a tune with them?
I reckon I could. This is where this funnel comes in handy, which I don't yet have. So now I'm going to have to go. There's a little bit of splashy. See that down the bottom there?
Yeah.
So I might have to adjust the
Can you
height.
adjust the height?
Yeah.
And just so that way it's.
The good thing is it's leaking the same on all of them. So it's somewhat even.
That's pretty successful.
I'll make a few tweaks.
Well, your injectors are good at least.
I'll still run them through the cleaner and then reflow them at 8 at a time. It was f***ing flawless, to be honest. Like Steve, he's trying to make me change my plan. So we had an argument all day. He goes, do it this way. No. Do it this way. No.
Look what happened last time you listened to Steve. Ended up drilling out jets in carburetors.
Oh, yeah. That went down.
No more listening to Steve.
I'm pretty sure I either gained or lost rotary customers over that. Let's try. Really small duty cycle, really low RPM. Good one, Motec too. It's about as good as your ability to change multiple cells. You can't just put a number in there, you gotta wait.
I'll wait for it to go down slowly by itself.
Yeah, good one.
Nice job. What's that simulating?
2400 revs, 17 milliseconds. Probably try and go down to small, see how small they can go. That's what happens when you try and run a big injector down a small opening time.
Doesn't love it. Doesn't love it at all. Doing it.
That's 2 milliseconds. See, it won't matter on this car on the alcohol because it's going to be probably 4 milliseconds at idle. So it should idle alright.
That's pretty bloody even.
They'd be within 1%.
They're pretty close.
That one there might need a little bit of work.
The clean up might fix that up, but
Yeah.
it's pretty spot on. Maybe just put like a little rubber bottom on these things or something, like a little stool for these to sit on, and I might just to pick them up.
Yeah, I could do that.
Might make it easier to get in and out that way too.
That's all it needs, just that closer to that.
Yeah, a little stool on the bottom.
I don't know how it's getting up here, unless that's spray.
It's not leaking, is it?
Maybe I pinched an O-ring or something. I don't know. It's possible. All right, so what, next week we have a present for Kevin, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe a week after. I don't know. We'll see how it's panning out. But there could be some Kevin action going on soon. Could be.
I'm not sure. I've entered the Corolla in Road Trip Drag Challenge.
The KE10.
But that's November. I mean, we've got Jamboree and everything between there, so that motor could die before now and then.
Are you taking that one to Jamboree?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, right.
I still got to get harnesses, suits, loose and weight.
And we've got manifold stuff going on for the white one too.
Yeah.
Is it in there or is it where?
Well, it's in there, but it has a fresh exhaust manifold.
Yeah, oh, hey.
Not a 12-year-old one that's covered in flaky, rusty crap.
They keep splitting because it's all
This thing
different.
needs a birthday overall, actually. All this stuff was done so long ago.
Yeah, it was done.
It's got tech screws in it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, guess what? It didn't fall off in 12 years, but
Yeah, well, there you go.
bet you a freaking nutso it would have.
Yeah, so
So this thing's lying dormant. We might even get it ready for you. Have you got a license?
I think I'm the only one licensed for this. Oh no, it's expired, but I can just renew it.
Yeah, well, you can race this one at Jamboree. And
Oh, yay. Last time we raced this one at Jamboree, I failed dismally.
you did. All right, so that worked okay. When EFI Hardware made me the rail, they sent me 3 clevises. I only used 2. When we ran 80 psi, it was pretty obvious we should have 3. Otherwise, there was going to be a bit of fuel in my face, unlike your ute with fuel in my face.
Well, we don't talk about.
It doesn't actually have fuel in it. It's flowbench fluid, which for some reason is flammable, which I thought it wouldn't be.
Is it?
But it says it on the bottle. It is flammable.
Oh, that's interesting.
So things that I have to finish, I've got to do the 8 injector harness so I can run the injectors while they're in the cleaner. And we're getting a little bit of a spray that's escaping the tubes. So these need to be 10 mil higher. So I may build something up down the bottom. Obviously put the funnel in there so I don't have to get down there. And I think we're ready. Oh, those are the block offs. I made some block offs.
Yeah.
The clamp or something that holds them in. And I actually should be able to flow people's injectors properly.
Like big boy injectors.
Big boy injectors.
So you can go to can you do the 7500s?
I mean, I guess. The thing is, the bigger the injector, even if you run out of fuel supply, you just run less at a time. So
Yeah.
I'll just flow 4 versus 4 or 2 versus 2.
Yeah.
7500 CC injector, there's not going to be many
No,
customers with
that's big boy stuff.
that. Yeah.
But it's good to know.
Yeah. All right. So
All right.
we'll go away and do something else and maybe have something different next week.
Yeah. Maybe.
Or maybe the same. Or
Maybe nothing.
maybe nothing.
We'll see.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and tell your mates. And we're only at 50,000 subscribers.
Not even 50. We're at like
Why?
46.
Maybe
46 is good. We're going to be happy. We're going to be going for like 2 years.
Maybe we need to diversify.
Oh.
We need to do. You can do a cooking show.
I can't cook for shit. Dude.
That'd be funny. I can't do shit for shit.
I can
It
eat
works.
that stuff, but like,
You eat it, yeah.
I like cake.